Christiana, tell us the latest on Apple's dispute.
Well, this dispute's been going on for a while now. IGB, a Brazilian electronics company, applied for the trademark name iPhone in 2000. Apple applied for the same name in 2006, but because IGB got there first, Apple lost out.
So what is the most likely outcome here? Because you can still go to an Apple store and get an iPhone in Brazil.
You can, and you still will be able to. There won't be any formal fine or anything. IGB will have to sue Apple in order to maintain its rights. But the likely outcome is that Apple will end up paying for the rights for this name. Apple was in a similar situation recently in China. They had to pay $60 million to use the iPad name. And we spoke with the IGB chairman last week, and he said he'd be willing to negotiate the sale of the name.
And there's a distinction here between how the local carrier, the local company, has trademarked the name with just IPHONE versus how Apple trademarks it with a capital P. Is that right?
You know, I'm not sure. I don't know if that's clear or if that even makes a difference in terms of the use of the name. But Apple can use the iPhone name for stuff like clothing and on text, like pamphlets. So they have won it in certain areas, just not for phones themselves.
Hold on. Apple can still use the name in clothing?
In clothing, yeah.
And have you seen that being used around Brazil?
I haven't actually seen it much. But it probably is out there.
Okay, how important is the Brazilian market to Apple? We know that Apple is putting a big focus on China.
Well, Apple doesn't actually disclose financial data for Brazil or Latin America. They're expected to be a small part of their Americas unit, which had sales about $20.3 billion in the first fiscal quarter. On the other hand, there are more cell phones in Brazil than there are people, and only 20% of them are smartphones, so there's a big market there that they could tap.